So from time to time, once we set an area up and we've been throwing apples to them, we'll head in on an expedition, throw them a few apples, and then break off from the observation spot and rush in to see if we can catch them still in the area. Check this out. All right, so in this clip, we're going to look at one of the Bigfoot that we've caught on film and that I've actually seen with my own two eyes. This is Bruce Banner. He's on the ground observing us. I heard a noise. I couldn't quite place it. Melanie had the angle on the shot. The trees were blocking me, but you can see this is a giant individual. Let's break him down real quick. Alrighty, guys, we're in the editor here, and we're going to take a peek here at these images of this giant Bruce Banner. And what we have is we've got his, the outline of his head, and you can even see where the hair is changing color with light behind it, appearing, to be some kind of plant life. Like this thing, here's the brow and the split between it, and you can see the musculature. Right, and this is actually this individual right here. This is him. See this? See that brow and that split and these nostrils? This is this guy right here. And you can see the hair, coming off the side of his head here, and then the actual head is a skull, and then it's got the fuzz, you know what I mean, coming off of it. But you can tell that we've got a real heavy brow here, and it matches this. We've got that brow. You can see the brow plainly. Very heavy brow right here. And we've got the head, and then here's the nostrils and that big ball. And see, he's got it's a different angle. When I shot it, I was probably 100 something yards away, and it was different light. This thing is not green and it's not brown. It's light gray or almost white, and this hair is the same thing. And you can see, if you look, you can see the green line going down his face. That's a millisecond of diffusion from these plants hitting the broad side of his face. That's all that is. And this tree is shading, and you can see this tree right here, this line. This is this line where it's basically shading it. So he's getting the green on half his face. You got the nose, the heavy brow, the head, and the fuzz of the actual hair, and even where the hair changes directions on the damn thing's head, where you got the spikes, and then boom, here it is, changing directions. It's nuts. It's huge Sasquatch. You can see here, this is going to be that huge trapezius attached, It's insane to the back of this thing's head. Look at this shoulder muscle coming off of here, man. It attaches to the back of the head. This is that primitive face on the chest individual with no neck. You can actually literally see where this thing's head comes down. You got the eye. It's incredible, man. So when you go through, look at the shots, understand that's him, and that's him hiding. There's the actual, distance close to it anyway. Yeah, that's it. And he's right there. Boom. And so we're back in their habitat, chilling out. Mel's actually filmed me. I just heard something, and boom, you guys get to see him. He's actually, I saw him in direct sunlight, and he was gray. He has gray hair, and his body is gray, and it's gray hair all over it. It's real thin hair, but it's long, and it hangs off of him in clumps in some spots. Off his forearms, it's real long. He looks like a savage that'll tear you into 30 pieces and throw the pieces everywhere, and not even eat you. He just looks crazy, and it's real, yeah. And there will be more documentation of this individual. Stick around.
confirmation, right? Back here, babe.
These trails?
Yeah. We pretty much thought this is what it was like.
When the wind's at our backs, we're at a disadvantage. We need that wind in our face. There's a possibility if there are any in this direction, when we go to leave, we'll smell them. They have the advantage right now.
Yeah, we're in their house.
I got 10. What do you think about this?
Wow, I think it's really pretty. I'm a little concerned about snakes, but I think it's really cool, even with the lighting, you know? It's beautiful back here.
It is, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
I was on my way out and I looked over to my left and saw this. And I was staring at it for like a minute and I shot, like a little video clip. And, there was a bunch of frames like this, man. And I was thinking when I was shooting it, yeah, I'm not going over there. I'm going home.
I think I got him, man. I was staring at him. He was staring at me. He was all lit up, achromatically distorted. So he probably had gray skin, and it just seemed like he was like this kind of there, like checking me out. I could see the eyes opening and closing. There was a little shift, at least once, where he shifted position, but he was kind of peeking around a bush from the inside, probably 7 to 8 feet, maybe 7 to 10 feet inside the tree line. The only reason I got him was we were in an elevated position shooting down into the tree line, the same tree line obviously, but I think I got him, man. So I'm going to review the film, and I was really excited when I was staring through the lens. I was trying to hold the camera still, man. It was like drifting because, I'm zoomed at like probably 80 yards. And I don't know, man. We'll see, but I think so, babe. I think I got one. Yay. And I think it's one of the ones that I got in the tree line before. I recognize that schnoz, man. He has this like triangle shaped schnoz, man. It just looks like the one that I've caught on film before. Cool. In that tree line. So I don't know. We'll see. We got to review. I tried not to get too close with the zoom and not too far. I was like, what I see through the oculus of my camera, when I think I can see clearly and I'm zoomed in all the way, by the time I put it in the editor, it seems like I'm too close and it's real blurry. So I tried to hang back a bit this time, and I still got in close, but not, as normally I would be trying to zoom in on him, seeing his boogers, you know what I mean? I didn't do that, so I kind of hung back, and I think I got it, man. I think I got a good shot, so we'll see as soon as we get home, all right?
As we take a look at this footage, I think it's important to understand that, it wasn't until I understood that I was actually looking for a creature that blended in with the very bush that they hide in that I started to actually see them in the tree line and catch them on film. This is one of those examples. Of course, my heart's pounding. I'm standing on top of a downed tree trying to balance. So the footage is pretty unstable, but we're going to get some good frames. And in describing this creature, he's leaning out from the bush, from in behind that cypress tree on the right side there, and he's just watching me. Now, again, I'm up around 8 feet off the ground with the camera, looking over all the saw palmettos in the foreground down into that creek bed. So this individual literally could not see me unless I was in that elevated position. If I was down on the ground, the saw palmettos that you see the tips of in the foreground there, they would have blocked his view. So I'm creating a line of sight lane that they can watch me, but in turn, I'm watching them. Well, we are in the editor and we are taking a look at the bone structure of a Sasquatch. This is an eye and another eye, and this is going to be the nose. But Sasquatch have a weird bone structure around their nose, and that part of your cheek, that little cheek line that runs on the outside of your mouth, is very prominent muscle on a Sasquatch's face. And you can see that in that particular shot. As we move forward in these, you can see there's even a pursed mouth in there. And we've got both eyes staring real good and both nostrils. So the individual is peeking out from behind these bushes, and I hope that helps you to understand better what you're looking at. As you move forward in these frames, you can see there's nostril. This is the guy's nose. So normal human type symmetry puts the eyes right where they should be. Of course, Sasquatch has a bit different symmetry, though we can count on the eyes being above the nostrils and the nose, obviously. So when you review, look for that symmetry. If you see that there's a big bulge that looks like a nose with two holes in it, then you know relatively where there should be some eyes. So, in helping you to identify these creatures, you who knows? You may be in your area and suddenly, you're able to identify that you're being watched. I mean, you can see this thing's eyeball inside there, both nostrils, the bridge, and you got that flaring cheek muscle outside of the mouth, which is a slit down in this area. You can make it out. There's a full breakdown for you. So just looking at this, you can see that hybrid human ape symmetry in that highlight. You can see him in there peeking out watching me. He can move, he's moving, he's blinking, he's got his nose changing position, his mouth is moving, you just gotta look. You can see the iris right there. I was staring at that thing, and it was staring back right through my camera. Now in this shot, you can actually see where the angle has changed a little bit. You can make out his mouth better, and he's got more of an angle with the bridge of the nose showing prominently as like human type nose. That's a hood, baby. We can swim, is what that means. that's it, right? I see it through the lens and I try to film it. I'm 80, 75, 80 yards away. I'm standing on something trying to balance while I film, and it is what it is. With our technology, this is what I get. When the technology increases with this lens that we're hoping to get, the footage will get better. It's consistently gotten better, and that's because we're learning. We're watching our films in the key spots when we shoot footage because there's something going on in these areas where we've got hominoid stench and we've got environmental manipulation that is very subtle, and yet when you really look at it and you get in there boots on the ground, it's blatant. The trails, the unexplained trails, hard compacted in typically soft substrate areas that have been heavily used and compacted. They're lower than the areas. No undulate tracks, no hoof prints, hogs, deer, and so on. But these trails exist, and there are giant impressions. They're not, most times in these swamp areas, they're not discernible unless they're in some kind of sand or mud, and it's difficult, right? But we've documented all of this stuff all along, and in crunching the data on a weekly basis, reviewing films, we're taking you with us, and I'm showing you what's going on, and it's a progression. Progression is what it is. It's a learning process, right? So there's going to be all these opinions, throughout the whole thing, and that's something that you just have to deal with. The bottom line is most people don't want to come on the journey. They just want to comment about it somehow and have their 2 cents. But we're taking you along with us in this learning process, and I just encourage you to try to slow down and take a really long, hard look at what we're saying. We've described the Sasquatch based on repetitive documentation as being achromatic in coloration, gray to black. It could be a light gray on one end of the spectrum, and they are, when they're black, so black that it's a kind of black. It's a hue of black that is ridiculous. It's the blackest black you can ever see. It literally sometimes will show up on the camera as purple. If the sun is kind of bouncing off of it just right, and they're in the shadow, my camera reads it as purple. It's one of the identifiers that I've got skin in there, right? It's so black it's purple. And when they're light gray, the forest canopy light is diffused in the sunlight, and it picks up some of that green. It hits that light gray skin, and they get a green tone. People are looking at our films, and they don't know this, We get, people on our pages that refuse to listen to the most simple explanations, man. There's nothing supernatural about a Sasquatch, man. They're stinky hominoids. They live in the bushes, and they have evolved to these environments to the degree that they're embedded in it, and you don't know it. You could be standing right there, and you just won't know it. Finding all of this out as we've gone along has given us the edge because we know what to look for. And yesterday was no exception. I saw that individual through the camera lens. On my second rotation of shooting that tree line in all the key spots that we've caught him on film again, boom, there he is.
Bigfoot Researcher's Journal.
What you got?
Okay, somebody started moving over here and walked all the way over there. There's no two ways about it. It was on two legs, whatever it was. So somebody's in here with us. I think we know what that is. But can we get them on film? I don't know. But I don't know if the audio could pick it up or not. But there was branches breaking all the way across the entire.
All right, so watch right here. You can see it. Let's play it again. Right there is, I think, two of them, and one gets up off the ground, and it might be one of the ones I heard. We're going to slow it down and zoom in, and you can see his face for a second as he gets set, but the bush is so damn thick. But look, you can see that head come up where he's standing up off the ground to move because he's directly in our line, and we're coming towards him. There's the little guy's face. It looks like a young one. But you can see the head is behind that bush, and then it comes forward, and it goes up. And you can see that white skin on his face. It's probably gray, but the sunlight's hitting it. And it even looks like it's going in front of another one, possibly. But you can see that one there. Even when we reverse it, you can see where it's going up, and then it comes, But it looks like he was hiding right there. One of them, because I heard the other one clear as day. It's incredibly hard to film in this thick bush. This is Melanie's iPad footage, and you can't zoom with it. If you zoom, you got to use the screen. It's very much like a cell phone. And at that moment, I was focused on identifying where it was. And we moved forward, and they were actually hanging out right by the spring.
Oh boy. I was right.
You found the water source.
Yep.
Wow, that's really nice.
We just spooked them off.
This is most definitely an oasis.
In this place, yeah. Disgusting oasis.
There's very little water in this park, so where it is,
Yeah,
they're there.
and shit. There's probably water moccasins in this thing. The last bastion of fucking territory where they can stay damp and cool. Oh, shit. Unless they've been plucked out of there. That's possible because we haven't seen.
See, I'm getting movement again in that same direction, like they're still right there somewhere. They probably just moved 40 feet and stopped. The bush is just too thick.
Okay, well.
Some cool stuff, man. Documenting what we experience in the field. More to come.